Kfrogtv, man. See how you boy doing it, man. Top bunk status, man. We a vibing on niggas that we doing. Nigga countdown 4 months, man.
Hold down, man. Suitcase this, my cell phone and my charger don't walk with a limp. Get it knocked off or missing, you gon' get it. Next time I see your ass, you gon' leave airlifted. Yo, man, Kfrogtv back in the building, man. Y'all go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so you can see it first. All right, so we're gonna get right into this one. And I'm gonna speak on a topic that a lot of people, you know, have been DMing me, leaving comments, you know, and they want me to address it and speak on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I'm gonna be speaking on, you know, top bunk and bottom bunk, because you hear a lot about both of them, okay? So I'm gonna break it down to y'all from my point of view, from my opinion, from my experience, and I'm gonna let y'all know what's the truth about it, what isn't the truth, and, you know, what's real, what ain't, and what's better from my perspective. All right, so, you know, you always hear, oh, you know, don't get put on the top bunk, you know, the person that on the bottom bunk is the one that, you know, runs the room, or you know, shit like that. That is all myth. That isn't really what it is, unless you purposely do get top bunked, which means you're on the bottom bunk, someone comes in and tells you, bro, I want that bump, boy, tighten up, get up top, you know, like, then of course, yeah, you got top bunked, all right? But as far as what is better, to me, I prefer the top bunk over the bottom bunk, all right? And I'm gonna break it down to the reasons why, and then I'm gonna break it down to the reasons why I don't like the bottom bunk myself, all right? Now, one thing about the top bunk is you have more privacy on top than you do on the bottom. When you're laying there on the top bunk and you look, you have all this opening, and you know, the person that, if you don't want to talk to your bunkie today, they're under you. They're under the bunk. You don't have to deal with them. If you know, you just go up there, put your headphones on, or just go up there, pull a book out. You know, they'll leave them alone. You ain't got to deal with them. You have your own area, as well as, you know, like there's more of a breeze up there. It's more, you know, open than it is on the bottom. When you have someone above you, you have that heat of someone above you, you know what I'm saying? Then when you're on the bottom bunk, you hear the person up top moving. You always have that feeling that someone is above you, someone is up there, you know what I'm saying? So I like top bunk over the bottom bunk. Same thing, you know, when someone passes gas. Now, someone passes gas, you know, they say heat rises, you feel me? So if someone passes gas, of course, if they're on the bottom, it's gonna go up, and you're on the top bunk or whatever. But like I said, it's more of an opening to where, you know, you might not even smell none if they pass gas. Now, another thing that is, to me, why I like the top bunk is no one can sit on your bunk. See, in prison, whether you're in an open bay or you're in a two-man cell, doesn't matter which one, where you're housed at. When people come in to talk to you, or if they come to hang out, where are they gonna sit? If they're in the open bay, they're gonna come in between the two bunks, they're gonna start sitting on them two bottom bunks right there. You know what I'm saying? Or if they come in your cell to talk to you, hey, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, come in. Yeah, come in. And when they come in, first thing they're going to do is sit on the bottom bunk and go to talking. All right? Now, you wouldn't want that if you had a bottom bunk. You want to be going to work in the kitchen, or going to school, or, you know, going to Vizzo, or medical call out, or whatever it is you may have to do, and then people sitting on your bunk. All right? You wouldn't want that. You come back and you see straight ass prints, you know, especially if they sit like, you know, you're not supposed to sit on the head part. You're not supposed to sit where their head lays at. You know, that's something that you're supposed to know off rip. It's disrespectful. If you do sit on someone's bunk, you sit on the bottom part, the feet end. You don't sit on the top where their pillow goes and shit. You feel me? Come back to the dorm and you'll see ass prints, so you know someone's been sitting on your bunk. When you're on the top bunk, you ain't got to worry about that. If someone comes in there to talk to you, or your bunkie, or goes over there to hang out, even when you're not there, your bunk's up there. You have nothing to worry about. That, you know what I'm saying? They're literally going to deal with the bottom bunks. They're not going to jump up there and sit on your bunk. You feel me? Unless it's one of your homeboys and they fuck with you and it's your dog, you know? So I like the top bunk over the bottom bunk. All right, now I've had them both. I had top and bottom bunks. You can get a bottom bunk pass, but you must, you know, either you get a bottom bunk pass, but there's different reasons to get a bottom bunk pass. You know, like, you could be old, you know, you can be over 200 pounds. You know, there's different reasons. And if you actually get the bunk pass, then they'll give you the pass that goes where your ID's at to show you have a bottom bunk pass. So, because you're not promised to stay where you're at. The officers can tell you to pack it up and move you at any time. You know, you can be in this dorm and then out of the blue, you're leaving and going to that dorm. You know, and then it makes it to where no matter where you go, you get a bottom bunk. You feel me? So Me, I had them both. I didn't have a bottom bunk. There was a top bunk, or if I didn't like where I was at, there was no breeze or anything like that, I could be like, shit, I got a bottom bunk pass, Sarge, man, shit, I need a bottom bunk. They won't even look into it 9 times out of 10. They'll just move you into a bottom bunk. You see what I'm saying? So I've had top bunks and bottom bunks, and I've actually stayed in a bunch of abandos, a bunch of stolen bunks as well. Like, I want that, I'm finna be staying here, not you. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and you go stay in my bunk and I'll stay in this bunk. You feel me? Like a put down or abandoned bunk where no one stays. I just move all my shit there. And then when they do master roster count, you know what I'm saying, which is the main count where they want to see your ID and your name and DC number at 10 o'clock at night, then you just go sit on the bunk that is your actual bunk. But all the other counts, you could just sit on that bunk. They just count the heads. They don't count or see where you're specifically at. Which it's also good because if they're looking for you, you know, they're going to go to your bunk that you're assigned to. You're not there. You feel me? You're going to go there, they're going to search, they're not going to find nothing. As well as if they find anything on this bunk that you are on, that you are staying on, you could just say you just stayed. I just put my mat there to stay there, man, because I wanted a breeze. You feel me? And then you're going to get in trouble for fucking sleeping on the wrong bunk. But if they found some damn cocaine or some tunchi or some, you know, some marijuana or whatever it may be on the bunk, a banger, a phone, anything like that, that you're not assigned to that bunk. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of lenient. You can wheel and deal your way out of it. Now, I done seen so many different fights, you know, from people sitting on a bunk that isn't their bunk. You know, like you go over there, you go slide to another dorm to go holler at one of your homeboys about some business shit, and then when you do, you walk up in his cut, you're talking to him, and then as you're talking, you got to sit down clearly so the officer's not watching you. You know what I'm saying? So you take a seat and you're actually on someone's bunk. And then that person be a gang member, and you could be in a different gang. And so it could be like a blood sat on a Crip's bunk. The Crip feels some type of way, like, man, hold on. And then he got to say something, and the next thing you know, it turned into a whole big war, all because that man sat on his bunk. You see? So to me, the top bunk's always way better. You could see everything. You could, from the top bunk as you're laying down, you actually see everything. You see if anyone's moving. I used to be up there laying there on the top bunk, looking around, watching that everyone's sleeping, and I'd be on the phone under my blanket until like 6 o'clock in the morning. Like be a scroll, and then boom, I just keep my eye on the officer, like from under the blanket, keep an eye on the cameras, like the whole. You could see everything from up there. On the bottom, you can't. You gotta look. You know, people can see you more because when you're in an open bay, you have a bunk. So when you're sitting on the bottom, you got all these other people's things hanging up, people everywhere. So you got to literally look. So the top bunk is always a thumbs up. Okay, all that shit you hear about, oh, the person who runs it or the put down is the bottom bunk, that shit right there is played out unless you do get put down on. Like I said, now me personally, I've ran rooms and ran certain parts of dorms, and I was on the top bunk because I wanted the top bunk. You see what I'm saying? I remember being in the box with no bunkie. Being in the box with no bunkie. Sitting on the top bunk. In an open bay. No bunkie. Top bunk. Which I actually went to confinement for, and I'm going to be doing I'm going to be breaking down my DRs. I found 6 of my DRs that I had in one of my property bags when I just did that video like a week ago or whatever, speaking on the memories and stuff from prison. I found 6 printouts of my DRs I went to confinement for. I'm gonna do a video on that, and one of those is about where I was on the top bunk, you feel me, and I didn't have a bunkie on the bottom bunk, and I went to confinement for being on the wrong bunk. Like, I'm gonna break it all down in another video. But like I said, I've went months sitting and staying on the top bunk with the bottom bunk wide open. Officers will come around in the box and be like, why you stay on the top bunk? I'll be like, because it's more breezy up there. I like it up there. I don't feel so secluded. You see what I'm saying? Even if you don't have a bunkie on top and you're on the bottom bunk, you still feel that there's something above you. You see what I'm saying? And then if you have the bottom bunk where you lay, and then you have the top bunk above them. So you have that area in between these 2 spots right here. But then you have all this, which is just straight free air. And you need as much breeze as you can, because down here in the state of Florida, there isn't no AC, only in the private camps and only in the visitation park and inside of medical and stuff like that. But as far as like there being AC everywhere, it isn't like that, only in private camps in Florida. So you need as much breeze as you can. I don't want to sit there and feel so stiff like someone's always above me. So I tell them I like the top bunk. And they'll be like, oh, okay, all right. You know what I'm saying? They'll come around wondering why there's a mattress. You know what I'm saying? And really, I'd be assigned to the bottom bunk because I wouldn't have a bunkie. So they'll just put me in that room and they log me in as that's my bunk. I stay on room 12 lower, and I don't know, but I go in there and don't have a bunkie. I put my shit right on the top. I want the top bunk, whether there's a bunkie or not. You feel me? Now, there's been times where I've told everybody wants, not everybody, but a big portion of people want the bottom bunk. So there's been times where I've got put in a room or put inside of a open bay to where I wanted the top bunk, and I made my bunkie swap out with me. So it was like a put down just for the top bunk, which is the opposite of what the myth is, where people say they do it for the bottom. You feel me? I remember when I was in Charlotte CI in D-Dorm, my bunkie, I was on the top bunk. You know what I'm saying? And my bunkie was the bottom bunk. I needed the bottom bunk because I had a lot of business going on. You feel me? So I had people coming and going. So I needed the bottom bunk. So then I actually swapped out with my bunkie. I told him, look, you get on the top, I'll take the bottom. You feel me? And this and that. And he was like, oh, all right. He's like, I already heard of who you were. So he had no problem moving his shit and going on the top bunk, which made it easier for me. You feel me? Because regardless, I was going to get that bottom bunk. You see what I'm saying? I'll offer to pay you at first, you know. First, I'll see if you're going to just move your shit. Then if it's a problem, I'll offer to pay you. And then if not, it's going to lead to however else I got to get you to fucking move. Feel me? So I ended up getting the bottom bunk. My bunkie was on the top bunk, which my dumb ass messed up because I actually ate some Xanax and then forgot that I swapped bunks with my bunkie. So when I ate Xanax, I fucked around and was barred. And then I actually grabbed my lock and fired my bunkie up, busted him open with a lock. So it was like I did it on the house basically because I knew he was there. You feel me? Just I was barred out. I was on Xanax. You feel me? Hanging out while I was in the chain gang. But anyways, this isn't that much long of a video. There's only so much I can speak on this topic. But I just want to let y'all know that when it does come to the bottom or top bunk, the top bunk is always better. Like I said, you can sit back and observe. You see everything. Everybody's under you. And then you see everyone that's sleeping on the top bunks as well. So you're like dead even with them. And then you see under. So it's like it's always better from a higher view. That's how I look at it. And that's what it is. There's more air, ventilation, or whatever you want to call it. So knock on wood that no one ever goes to prison. But there's nothing wrong with the top bunk. Okay? Just don't let no one top bunk you. Which means they came in and put down on you and made you get on the top bunk. Then of course it's like, oh yeah, they got me. Then you got top bunked. Then it is like you got put up there, which was a bitch move. You feel me? But anyways, man, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Like I said, this isn't that long of a video, but I just figured I'd post something for y'all today. I hope y'all liked the video I dropped last night. Kill shot of that clown, got him up out of here. And for the most part, man, y'all stay tuned in. I got another video I'm dropping either tonight or I'll drop it tomorrow. And I got some more cooking videos lined up too. You already know how we do it. We play chess, not checkers. Kfrogtv, man. I appreciate y'all watching. Fuck with me.